Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Myth and Snow Kimkyung. Right now we have what I'm just gonna call him Snow just so I don't trip up myself right now. Snow getting that Altar of Elders and that Moonwell, most likely gonna get this Wisp down here to set up an Ancient of War and do some Ancient of War creeping against the mercenary camp over here to the south, and in fact it is going to be an Ancient of War. Meanwhile, we have a Town Hall now being built, or Town Hall now producing peasants, barracks, Altar of Kings, so pretty much also a standard build from Myth. Myth most likely going to be opening up with an Archmage or Mountain King. I've seen Mountain King pretty recently on Echo Isle. Don't know why it's being preferred more than the Archmage. Perhaps the creeps don't need as much tanking, or the Mountain King is just better to be able to stormbolt units right now. So as soon as the minute mark comes underway, or the minute and 10-second mark, we will be able to see what the hero choices are in fact going to be. An interesting placement on this farm right there by Myth. A little bit yeah, it is going to be an Archmage. It's Archmage versus a Warden, so things are looking pretty good right now. Not going to be your typical Demon Hunter versus Archmage, so I'm always into new strategies right now. Also, we should be getting that Archer popping out in just a second. Yeah, if you guys have not already heard, StarCraft 2 beta will be released sometime in February, so stay tuned for that. Also, if you guys continue to want Warcraft 3 replays and Warcraft 3 shoutcasts, let me know, but don't tell me before you've seen my StarCraft 2 shoutcast, because well, you don't really have anything to compare it against. Right now we have some Wisp now moving out as well, trying to do some scouting, and we have the Ancient of War now up and off the ground as that Archer tries to draw some of that aggro, and now we have some Wisp coming in to repair that Ancient of War. Ancient of War taking a good amount of damage. A little bit surprised by that. Now I'm also getting a lightning shield, so that lightning shield going to the Ancient of War, or the Archer just going to sit here and try to deal damage to that Renegade Wizard. Warden now going to be coming in and going to finish off this particular creep camp. I'm going to get to level 2 fairly easily. He's going to pick up a Troll Shadow Priest. Has not picked up a Troll Shadow Priest yet. A little bit surprised by that, but maybe that's more of a human move. Right now we also have Myth creeping with a single footman. A little bit surprised about that. There's that secondary footman. Normally by this point there should be 2 footmen, unless a footman's now moving out. Yeah, the footman has been moving out, and now we have some militia coming in. So the militia coming in, Archmage is going to drop a water elemental after firing a fireball, and then try to get purge. Yeah, going to drop another water elemental, and there it is. So here comes Myth trying to creep out as well. So the Warden on the other hand going north, going to creep out the Null Brute and these 2 Null poachers here. Troll Shadow Priest not doing any healing, so the auto casting has been turned off, or it's just focusing firing down those units. Warding picking up a very nice agility, and now we have the Archmage picking up a boots of speed, so the Archmage does not need to head off to that Goblin merchant shop anytime soon to buy that boots of speed right now. Wisp now trying to Wisp getting focused down by the Wisp of Snow getting focused down by Myth. Myth trying to do some chasing, and that Wisp now going to be pulled back away. Perhaps we're going to get another call to arms. Yeah, another call to arms, and we're going to have Militia now try to come in, try to set up an expansion right now. So Archmage dropping that Water Elemental, trying to take down that Ogre Magi. This is pretty much a human player's dream, where the Night Elf player is not doing any harassment at this point. So unless Kim sets up an expansion of his own, I'm not sure that Kim is going to really be able to take this, unless the Warden, yeah, well, the Warden's now finally moving out. If the Warden buys that Staff of Teleportation and that Boots of Speed, that will mean that the Warden is in fact committing to a high level of harassment right now. Down goes that single last Troll Trapper, level 3 on that Warden right there, selling, yep, and buying that Boots of Speed and that Staff of Teleportation. So if the Snow's Warden currently has level 2 Fan of Knives, that's going to be very, very bad news, as those units are going to take a lot of damage right there. Shadow Strike, oh, level 2 Shadow Strike, now focusing on that Archmage. Archmage trying to fight back against that Warden. Warden is now once again hiding in the shadow of the night right now. Archmage sitting at level 3. Are we going to get another Shadow Strike on that? No Shadow Strikes on any of those units. Very well placed peasants, trying to make sure that those peasants are not vulnerable to that Shadow Strike right now. But we have in fact a Tree of Life being set up as well. So that single Warden putting pressure on the main base or the expansion attempt from Myth right now. So we'll see how this really works out. Myth now instead coming over to that south hand side and perhaps going to try to get to a peasant down here. And yes, is going to find a low hit point or a peasant who is now very low on hit points. Arcane Tower now in play, so that Arcane Tower getting some feedback damage on that Warden. Warden now once again hiding, and that Warden just standing there hiding, and things are not looking good as that Warden realizes that she needs to pull back away. So are we going to get another Shadow Strike on some more of these peasants? Shadow Strike off on that Troll Shadow Priest. That Troll Shadow Priest needs to abolish magic on himself, otherwise he's going to get taken down easily. Takes 1, 2, 3 hits trying to stay alive, but I don't think he's going to be able to, and down he goes. So the Warden able to take down that Troll Shadow Priest relatively easily. Another Shadow Strike being cast on that Archmage. Archmage now trying to creep while ignoring that Warden, but that Warden's dealing a lot of damage to that Archmage. Archmage trying to make sure that that the Warden is not within Shadow Striking range. Archmage now trying to move back in. Warden, on the other hand, Staff of Teleportations to... where does she Staff of Teleport to? Back over to those Moonwells. Moonwells healing back up, and now perhaps going to try to creep out the Goblin... the marketplace. No, no, not going to creep out the marketplace. A little bit surprised by that. Wisp now standing back here, and now we have upgrade to keep, and now blacksmith. So we're going to have some riflemen in just a moment. Pandurian Brewmaster currently in play, and only one tower. So only one tower right here, that and Breath of Fire not really hitting any of those buildings, and that Arcane Tower is really what needs to get taken down right there. The Arcane Tower should probably focus feedback on those Troll Shadow Priests, but really not doing it, and not Breath of Fire. Come on, if you're going to see a Breath of Fire on those peasants right now, Breath of Fire, and down goes that other tower, and wow, what a misplay by Myth. Myth not arcaning feedback that Pandurian Brewmaster, and that's really going to mess things up right now. So Kim definitely has the advantage right now. There are no towers at this expansion, and without those towers, I don't think the human player can really keep on, or Myth can really keep onto this expansion right now. Warden now trying to go after that Archmage. Archmage is going to take another Shadow Strike. Yeah, taking another Shadow Strike, 150 damage with that damage over type. Pandurian Brewmaster trying to come in, perhaps try to take down that tower once again. Yeah, that tower is going to be taken down once again. Footman now trying to come in, deal damage towards that Shadow Priest. Warden, on the other hand, trying to chase down that Archmage. Archmage down to 104 hit points. Down to 67. Or is he going to buy a Mud Golem in order to finish it off? And that, able to continue to be healed. But that Archmage down to 21 hit points, and down it goes. And the Warden once again moving back out. So very, very nicely done. We also have some Ancient of Lores being built right by that tree line in order to avoid any scouting right there. Ogre Lord now being brought in by Snow, so Snow has some creeps of his own. As that Pandurian Brewmaster now sitting at level 2 continues to fight right now. Perhaps you're going to get another Breath of Fire off on these footmen. Warden down to 84, 55, 33 hit points, able to Staff of Teleport away. Wow, that Warden just has a death wish, but keeps on staying alive somehow, able to chase down and take down the Archmage. Staff of Teleportation, knowing that those footmen without that upgrade, without the armor up or the weapons attack upgrade, would not be able to take them down. Those Troll and those Archers now trying to push back away once again, as Troll Shadow Priests are focusing down more of these units. Myth trying to keep them alive, but Peasants getting forced back away. Footman now trying to come in, trying to deal more damage. And Troll Shadow Priest trying to heal himself as those footmen now trying to come in. A very, very high hit point Troll Shadow Priest, and that footman down to 19 hit points. Gonna be running to those creeps. No, not gonna be taken down. Warden now trying to come back in. Warden, are we gonna get an additional Shadow Strikes? Down goes that Troll Shadow Priest, and now trying to take down more of these peasants. And Myth is going to lose this game. There's not much that Myth can really do at this point, as the Warden is going to be able to pick off some more of these units. Pandurian Brewmaster may get off, no Breath of Fire, but 2 peasants quickly go down. Militia being called from the main base, but the Warden doesn't care. The Warden is just going to try to finish off more of these units. Myth trying to get some workshops in time, trying to get some mortar teams, but it may not be enough, as Snow still has this expansion and has been mining without any troubles at this point. Now we have double Arcane Sanctums and a workshop now being built, and Warden sitting at level 4, unable to really continue to press any additional damage. Down goes another footman. Breath of Fire trying to take down more of those units. Staff of Teleportation being used, and the Warden once again heading back out. And where is the Warden? Where is that Warden? Warden teleported to the middle of the map, but buying a Clarity Potion and a Potion of Mana and a Potion of Healing. So we'll be able to get some more Fan of Knives in. Breath of Fire now, with level 2 Breath of Fire now being teched by that Pandurian Brewmaster. Pandurian Brewmaster pretty much able to continue to push on a lot of pressure at this point. Archmage trying to run back away, but things aren't looking good. Myth has got to realize that this is already GG. His expansion is currently being mined out from, but yeah, Myth quickly just in frustration says GG, and here are the final scores. Yeah, level 4 Warden, level 3 Pandarian Brewmaster versus a single level 3 Archmage, not enough to stay in the game. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and hope to see you guys on Battle.net.